Hello everyone, welcome to Kaylee College of Commerce. I, Professor Sneha Hiremath of Kaylee College of Commerce, would like to continue Nature and Significance of Management, Part 4, that is Functions of Management. Functions of Management. Here, management is called as a dynamic process. What is a process? Process means series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a desired goal. Dynamic means a constant change. Here, management implies that a change in which a series of actions are conducted or actions are taken in order to achieve the desired goal. So every manager has to perform various functions. Those functions are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Planning will be in futuristic. It is a futuristic process. Organizing, that is assembling, allocating the resources. Staffing, finding the right person for the right job and the right time. Directing, supervising, motivating and leading personnel. Controlling, that is comparing the actual performance with that of standard performance. What is planning? In the words of Peter Drucker, planning is a continuous process of making present entrepreneurial decisions systematically and with the best possible knowledge of their futurity, organizing systematically the efforts needed to carry out these decisions and measuring the results of these decisions against the expectations through organized and systematic feedback. It simply means that planning is the function of determining in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, and who is going to do it. That is the entrepreneurial decision making with the best possible knowledge of their futurity. And according to the plan, he will organize them systematically, needed to implement or carry out those decisions. And measuring will be done of the results against the plan that was made. Here, planning involves setting goals in advance and developing a way of achieving them efficiently and effectively. Planning cannot prevent problems, but it can predict them. Suppose if we are planning for a trip, planning for a trip involves deciding in advance where to go, how to go, okay, who all are the members. So that is regarding the planning. It cannot prevent the problems from arising, but this planning helps us to predict the problems and prepare for the contingency plans to deal with them if and when they occur. That is with regard to the planning. Next is organizing. According to Henry Fayol, to organize a business is to provide it with everything useful or its functioning, that is raw material, tools, capital and personnel. This function comes after planning. That is, once a specific plan has been established for the accomplishment of an organizational goal, the organizing function examines the activities and resources required to implement that plan. Organizing is the management function of assigning duties, grouping tasks, establishing authority, and allocating resources required to carry out a specific plan. Different kinds of business require different structures according to the nature of work. It decides who will do a particular task, where it will be done, and when it will be done. Here, the function of organizing involves the determination of activities that need to be done in order to reach the company goals, assigning these activities to the proper personnel, and delegating the necessary authority to carry out these activities in a coordinated and cohesive manner. It simply means that after a plan is being made or a plan is sketched, then to implement that plan, whatever resources are needed for implementation of that plan, allocation of authority and collecting or assembling of all the resources can be called as organizing function. Next is staffing. Staffing, according to Kootz and O'Donnell, managerial function of staffing involves manning the organization structure through the proper and effective selection, appraisal, and development of personnel to fill the roles designed in the structure. It is called as a managerial function of hiring and developing the required employees to fill in various positions created by the organizing process. After the organizing function, this staffing function will be done by the manager, that is, finding the right person for the right position at the right time. This is also known as human resource function. It involves the process of recruiting employees, training them, developing them, compensating and evaluating employees, and maintaining this workforce with the proper incentives and motivations. Staffing simply means that appointing men and placing them for a proper position and training the personnel. Next, directing. Directing is the process of supervising, motivating, leading, and communicating with the subordinates to achieve the organizational objectives. Here, the directing function is concerned with leadership, communication, motivation, and supervision so that the employees perform their activities in the most efficient manner possible in order to achieve the desired goals. This function is basically concerned with influencing the behavior of human resources. A good manager can be called as a good manager when he directs through praise and criticism in such a way that it brings out the best in the employees. So that can be called as a direction. Direction is a process wherein which trying to supervise, motivate and lead and communicate with the subordinates so that the organizational objectives are achieved. Directing simply means that showing a path, showing the way for the employees. And in order to show them the proper way to achieve the organizational objectives, a manager needs to influence the behavior of human resources. Controlling. Controlling is the management function of monitoring organizational performance towards the attainment of organizational goals. According to Koontz and O'Donnell, controlling is the measurement and correction of performance activities of subordinates in order to make sure that the enterprise objectives and plans desired to obtain them as being accomplished. That is, the task of controlling involves establishing standards of performance, measuring current performance, comparing it with the established standards, and taking corrective actions if there is any significant deviation between actual and planned performance. This controlling function aims to ensure whether everything is done according to predetermined goals. That is, planning, after organizing the resources, after appointing men, after directing them for the organizational objectives, the actual performance will be compared with the standard performance. If there are any deviations, it will be corrected by the manager. So that is about the controlling function. Here, all these functions will be performed by a manager, and managers, they have to perform all these functions simultaneously. In reality, it is not that after planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, all this comes in a chronological manner. This process has to be managed by a manager having a proper synchronization for all the activities that are conducted, and that synchronization can be done with the help of coordination.